Hi, I'm Luke, and this is App to Date. Now, as you may have noticed, Cameron's not with me this week, so the show's going to have to take on a slightly different format, but we'll be back to the usual format next week. A new travel app set to rival Uber. There's been a lot of controversy recently surrounding the car-sharing carpool app Uber, in which the company was banned from operations in Germany on the grounds that it was non-competitive and damaging to the taxi and transportation industry, only to be subsequently re-allowed only 2 weeks later after the court case. 2 weeks ago, we discussed this and we said that we hoped that the new format of car sharing would spark an innovation to revitalise the taxi industry, and it looks like that day has already arrived. From the new startup app, Maxi. Maxi, spelt M-A-A-X-I, is an app designed to match strangers travelling in the same direction in order to share a taxi and split the bill. The app has also doubled up as a standard taxi ordering service in which you can order a taxi and opt to travel alone. Although the project seems ambitious and there's a long way to go before the app can be rolled out for general use, they have already obtained support from the Licensed Taxi Driver Association. Maxi is for black cab service only, so unlike other apps attempting to do the same thing, it is more likely to gain the correct approval needed for operations. The innovation is in the pricing system, designed to be both cheaper for the traveller and more profitable for the driver. Prices are determined on how many people the passenger shares with. The taxi driver charges people less than the meter fare, but overall gets more when aggregating all of the partial fares. A true win-win, explained the firm's chief executive. This means that taxi drivers can charge per passenger, whereas before most taxi companies charge for the fare alone. The fares are distributed according to the distance and time the person spends in the taxi, so that if 5 people share a journey, they split the fare for that portion, and if then a subsequent journey is shared by 4 people, they split the fare for that portion of the journey. Maxi takes the hassle out of the hands of the driver and the passenger and uses technology for everything to be automatically calculated. I think that people already using Uber probably won't move over to this app at the moment. But in the long term, I think this app is probably the way to go with professional drivers. It's probably more safe. Hopefully they can bring the price down to match the cheapness of Uber, because as we've been saying, it is so much cheaper than catching a taxi. It's almost ridiculous. We can see why German courts banned them for a couple of weeks. It's important that we factor in what's going on in the real world in order to contextualise what we're about to talk about, but at the same time make no political affiliation because that's not what we do this for. At this moment in time, there's a huge pro-democracy protest happening in Hong Kong, with protesters threatening to occupy government buildings. Now this relates to a story we have today about FireChat. FireChat is a decentralised chat messaging app which is changing the face of protest. It has been noted that in Hong Kong there has been a sudden surge in downloads of the app FireChat. FireChat is an app that allows users to chat without cellular or internet connection. It works by allowing Android and iOS devices in proximity of up to 60 meters to create a decentralized network. Messages can be sent phone to phone in a daisy chain-like fashion. The company describes it as crowd-surfing the connectivity of those around you. With each additional person, the range of the app is extended. The app has also previously been used in Iran and Iraq earlier this year. The app, developed by San Francisco-based company Open Garden, received over 100,000 downloads from people in Hong Kong in just 24 hours between September the 28th and September the 29th. The disadvantage of the app is it's completely non-encrypted, and according to a Citizen Lab report posted in July, it's highly insecure for sensitive communications, also adding that it is relatively easy to impersonate another user without authorization. However, you can chat to up to 10,000 people at once. Because of this, Open Garden have warned Hong Kong protesters not to use their real name. Now, I've not actually had the chance to check out this app, and I've been looking forward to using it quite a bit, but of course Cameron's away and you need more than one person to have a conversation in close proximity. However, a lot of the reviews on this app say that it's more of a chat room than it is an instant messenger. I assume this is because you can impersonate the other users and jump into conversations uninvited, but because of the way it works, more than anything it reminds me of PictoChat for the Nintendo DS. Notably, network blackouts have been reported in the Hong Kong area. Many report that it is simply because of a network overload. And another interesting report coming in is that Instagram is reportedly blocked in mainland China as protests in Hong Kong intensify. However, interestingly, the block appears to be only in Beijing and not in the Hong Kong area. If you want to know more from this story and it's something that interests you, make sure you check out hashtag OccupyCentral on both Twitter and Instagram. Secret Inc., creators of the Secret app, send you mysterious notifications through their new app Ping. The new app created by Secret is intended to bring back the excitement of the dreaded mundanity of mobile notifications. The app that is named onomatopoeically reflecting the notification noise your phone makes is a gimmicky, quirky and refreshing look at using your phone to reflect your personality and lifting your mood. You can ask the app to send you notifications on a wide variety of things that interest you, such as what's trending on Twitter and app recommendations, as well as some other quirky ideas such as is it Friday yet and daily fortune cookies, as well as random thoughts. The app itself only lets you view previous notifications. Notably, the app does not ask you to set up an account and another username and password, nor does it ask you for any contact details or the details of your contacts. This is a big thumbs up from us. NASA released an app called Launch Service Program Activity Book, but it's hardly rocket science. Surprisingly this week, US space agency NASA released an app, which is pretty exciting. I mean, come on, it's an app by NASA. Unfortunately, this one's for kids. It's a colouring app to show children how rockets are launched, but that's still pretty cool if you're a 5-year-old, or you need to entertain a 5-year-old. The app, which name is abbreviated to LSP Activity Book, is led by a character named Peter the Payload, who guides kids through the online activity book. Children can colour 24 NASA pictures, complete a crossword about the solar system, and navigate an asteroid maze. Come colour with Peter the Payload as your tour guide on an interactive NASA adventure from payload processing through to liftoff. Unleash your inner artist and explore the Launch Service Program LSP Activity Book. Now, I think it's pretty cool that NASA are releasing apps. It's a really fun and exciting idea, and it would be really cool to see an educational app on a next intellectual level aimed at adults about rocket science from NASA themselves. It would certainly be something that I would download, but if I had a 5-year-old son or daughter or brother, I would definitely download this app. Apple removes Launcher from App Store. Launcher by Chromium Labs is one of the first apps to take advantage of the new functionality Apple has introduced with iOS 8 and has made it into the top 10 highest grossing productivity apps in 43 different countries. The app allows you to create shortcuts on your favorite apps and activities directly from your notification center. However, Apple have removed it from the App Store, claiming that it is a misuse of widgets. Greg Gardner, the developer of the app, had this to say in his blog. Apple contacted me on September the 23rd of 2014 and told me that they have decided to disallow my notification center widget that allows you to launch other apps. Their only reason for that is a misuse of widgets, even though there are no written rules to this effect and the app was originally approved by them. Apple told me that I could release an update without the notification center widget, or they would take the app off the App Store in a number of days. I submitted a fix to the app, which I thought was a valid compromise, where every click on the widget always goes back to the Launcher app first, which redirects you to your target app. This was submitted on Friday, September the 26th. Within an hour, Apple rejected my fix, and they took Launcher down from the App Store, he said. I think it's a great shame that they've taken this app down. I mean, I don't really see what they mean by a misuse of widgets. I think if you open up the platform and means for people to do this, it's not a misuse. You've given them the right to do such a thing. I know that Apple would like to have their system as a completely integrated system, but when they opened up the notification center to third-party developers in that way, they should have known that people were going to do such a thing, and not be persecuting them for it now. Ubisoft reveals Assassin's Creed Identity for iPhone and iPad. Ubisoft released yet another game to join the popular Assassin's Creed franchise in the form of Assassin's Creed Identity. Assassin's Creed Identity has been soft launched in Australia and New Zealand on Tuesday, and will only be released globally sometime in 2015 after incorporating feedback from players. No mention of an Android release yet, and no one's really asked about a Windows Phone version. A follow-up story from our previous discussion on a podcast a couple of weeks ago about Facebook's acquisition of WhatsApp for $19 billion. The European Union regulators on Friday cleared the buyout of WhatsApp mobile messaging service by Facebook, despite oppositions from telecom companies. That's all from us today. Make sure you stay up with the latest in iOS news and development from Twitter. We are at iOS App News 24. That's at iOS App News 24. And make sure you check out our videos we've created over on YouTube. We hope you enjoy them. youtube.com/FreeDealStudio. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week for more discussions with Cameron on App to Date.